Good morning, Northwest, and happy Wednesday, the second day of school. So we're going to get started with the pledge. If you'll please stand up. Right hand across your chest, left hand by your side, and repeat the pledge after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a dress code check. Remember, over the course of the next few days, you'll be learning all about our school expectations, including dress code policy, to make sure that you're coming to school dressed for success. All right, and you may be seated. All right, so you have survived the first day of school. The first day of school is always the toughest. Everyone's figuring out where everyone is, what teams your friends are in, classes your friends are in, and it can be overwhelming. So hopefully you got a great night of sleep last night to start day 2 today. So please make sure that you are asking your teachers or any staff any questions you may have along the way, because we are here to support you. We are so glad that you are here, and please make sure that you know that we love you and we are here anytime you need it. Today we have our Wednesday Day in History that's going to be coming from Mr. Egnott, and I found out that he actually celebrated a birthday not too long ago. He's going to be extremely excited for me to share that his birthday was on August the 6th.
Goody.
So anytime, so if you see Mr. Egnott today, since you guys weren't here for his birthday, why don't you wish him a happy birthday? Give him a high five, a fist bump, because you know he's going to love that. And I bet he'll even return to you with a smile. All right, hope you guys have a great day. Here's Mr. Egnott.
Thank you, Miss Abel. I appreciate that, as always. Good morning, Northwest, and thank you for being here this morning. Second day of school. We're excited to get everything started. Before I do the day in history, which will be my theme, so you'll be seeing my wonderful face every Wednesday morning, going over what I saw were some interesting topics to just kind of discuss and throw out there. On August 14th will be our first one. But before I do that, yesterday I did come around to every single class, making sure that the students knew exactly what bus they were getting on in the afternoon. Please make sure that is essential for the success of our dismissal time, to make sure that we understand what buses we are getting on in the afternoon. I know that we had a few sub buses and a few curveballs were thrown because of that, and that's fine. That's day one. That's going to happen. What we need to do is just continuing to get better and making sure we're getting on the right buses. One way to ensure that is to ask your teachers. They do have a master schedule for buses, so in case if you do not remember from yesterday and you're still kind of confused on how you're going to get home, you'll have that option with your teachers to be able to ask them. They can look up your name very quickly and get you that information out there for you. The other thing that we utilize here at Northwest, when you were walking down towards the bus lot, you see myself and our media specialist, Miss York, standing there with our clipboards, and we have a huge poster that pretty much replicates the bus numbers that we have here on campus that are assigned to us. And sometimes, like yesterday, bus 331 ended up being on bus 190. So what we do is in red marker, we write that if you normally ride bus 331, today you're going to be looking for bus 190. All right? And then also what I say is for our students who are still kind of getting confused, getting these things worked out, is take a mental picture of who was on the bus in the mornings if you ride it in the mornings. So if you're seeing those same students in the afternoon, then you're on the right bus. If you're looking around and you don't recognize the bus driver, or you don't recognize a soul on that bus, double check and ask before we pull away from school, so then that way we know that you're on the right bus and that you're getting home safely. That's my number one goal in the mornings and afternoons. You get here safely, and you get home safely when you're riding our buses. All right, so again, if you need information about your buses, ask your teachers. If your teachers need support with that, teachers, please email me, and I will get that information to you. I will have a printed bus pass, anything that you need to make sure that we have a successful day 2 dismissal here at Northwest. So, for that being said, getting to my theme for Wednesdays, which is this day in history, which is August 14th. So the first one that I have is, it was called the Northeast Blackout of 2003 that impacted Virginia, Maryland, and the city of New York. So you can imagine, when you look at that image there, that is a satellite image showing that the light being projected from Earth, and you can see that that one spot is completely dark. So because of that, well over 2 to 3 hours worth of time is where those areas absolutely had zero power. Okay, so you can imagine in a big city where you have over 15 million people that are living in the city of New York, is that this was a big, huge concern in this time in 2003. Just with that 2 to 3 hour blackout, it cost over $500 million worth of damages to businesses. So you can imagine 2 to 3 hours that your just electricity's out. Sometimes we have our electricity out for 6, 7 hours. But for in that specific area, in that region of the world, is because of that time, we had over $500 million worth of damage, that was caused by that. The second image is, and I can get my big head out of the way, is that we have Japan surrenders in World War II. So as wonderfully as Miss Zabo said my birthday here live on air, 8 days later, on August 6, 1945, is when the United States actually used the first atomic bomb that has ever been done, still to this day, in world history. And 8 days later, after the damage that was caused by the atomic bomb to the Japanese people, Japan officially surrendered to the United States and its allies and on a battleship, as you can see in the picture here, in World War II on the 14th of August, 1945. So that officially then brought to an end World War II as we know it, because the Germans had already previously surrendered. The third image, it was an interesting, the one that I thought is because everybody knows Michael Jackson, and if you don't know, the Beatles were probably one of the most famous bands in world history, especially in the 1960s. And so their catalog, which is basically they did not have all of it in there, but most of their songs that they actually wrote and did were actually sold to Michael Jackson on August 14th. Okay, Michael Jackson bought it for a mere $45 million. So what does that mean is when Michael Jackson bought those songs, any time that Beatles song was being used in commercials, TV shows, movies, anything, Michael Jackson got a check every single time that song was being used. John Lennon and Paul McCartney, who are the lead singer and the guitarist of the group, they got what was called writing checks, royalties. So they got a portion of the money, and then Michael Jackson got a bigger portion because of the song that would be used at any time. So when we watch like college football games, or we're watching commercials or movies, and you hear some of your famous artists that are playing in the soundtrack in the background, those artists are getting a good chunk of money because they own the rights to what are called royalties. So I looked it up actually last night when Michael Jackson passed away, and in his estate, he sold it off to Sony. Sony bought the rights to the entire catalog. So anytime that a Beatles song is being used, Sony is getting a check sent directly into their company. It is estimated that the catalog today, if it were to be sold, is worth over $1 billion in 2024. So for all of my artists out there, my musicians, just think about that number. Music that was written 50 plus years ago could be sold for over $1 billion today when it comes to the Beatles sounds and artists and music. So that is your day in history, August 14th of 2024. Be respectful, be responsible, and be safe out there. Thank you, Northwest. Take care.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.